Hello, this is Jamie, your co-host for Krazy Knights podcast, and joining me is another co-host, the 2.5 from Melbourne, David Fowler.
How you going?
Good.
And I just have to say this, David.
Yep.
We've got a special guest all the way from Canada.
Yes,
We did do an episode earlier this week, but Skype sucks. We had a few technical difficulties, but it was a great pleasure to have him with us again. Mitch Lafon, how you going, Mitch?
Good. Fun Sunday morning.
Have you been to a KISS church today, Mitch? Yep.
What do I got today? Oh, no. Today's Alice Cooper.
Sweet.
But I did buy a new shirt this week. I was out in Ottawa for a show and stopped by a Walmart, and they had a whole bunch of new KISS shirts. Who knew?
I did see that. I did see that you posted up a photo of that on your Facebook page.
Yeah, some kind of silver shirt or something. Interesting.
Yeah. And how was that Ottawa trip with a special guest? You can mention his name on the July the 4th concert.
Yeah, well, I took my daughter out to see a Grand Funk Railroad with Bruce Kulick, and it was a great show. I mean, Bruce was in fine form. Always a pleasure to say hello to Mr. Kulick.
And could I just ask one question before we get on to this week's topic? Did he play Star Spangled Banner up in Ottawa?
No, he did not, or at least I don't recall. No, I don't believe he did.
It wouldn't be right for being played in the Canadian state, but Bruce's inspiration, as we know, was in KISS. He was in Blackjack before KISS. He also was the guitarist for Meatloaf with his brother Bob on the Bat Out of Hell tour.
And the Billy Squire band for a little while as well.
Yeah, and he's been with Union for a couple of years after KISS has went to the reunion. Then he went to join ASP with Eric Singer, did a few gigs with ASP, and also now he's with Grand Funk Railroad. And we'd love to see Bruce down under if it can happen with Grand Funk, but I know he's doing casino gigs and whatnot in this summer up there, and it's winter
casino
down
gigs.
here.
They're the best gigs, those casino gigs.
Yeah.
Well paying.
Well,
So yeah,
they're also
this week. Yeah,
Sorry.
go bitch.
I was just gonna say that they're great because if you're a band member, you're up in your room, and they're usually nice rooms in the casino. You come down, you play your gig, you go back up to your room, and you go to bed. You don't have to hit a bus or get on a plane, and they normally take very good care of you in terms of catering and food. It's not just pizza and cold pizza and Coca-Cola, I should say. You get you get a real spread made by a real cook. So great gigs.
Yeah, well, actually, just before we get on to this week's topic, Def Leppard just rounded up a casino gig at the Hard Rock Cafe down in Las Vegas. It was awesome. I have seen some video clips from that, and it was just an awesome gig. Motley Crue are due to go back to a casino residency performance. I think it's around September-ish, I believe, in Las Vegas. It's going back there. Motley Crue is doing awesome. They were here just recently for the 40th anniversary Monster Tour that started here in Australia late February and continuing to middle of March. And it was awesome. And I just want to say this, Dave. We're talking about merchandise.
Yeah.
40th anniversary has started when went to the 7th month of the year. And I just want to show Mitch a new figurine that I bought today, or my partner bought today.
I've got
the
that.
Pop-ups. The pop-ups have just arrived here in Australia. I found
Is that the same one?
Yeah, that's the same one.
You gotta love those.
Just arrived.
You need to go get the Ace.
I am. We're going. My partner and I are going back to the same shop tomorrow, and I'm gonna get a very special Gene Simmons lolly jar thing that had a eclectic glass bowl that he's holding out, and
to collect money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is reasonable. It is reasonable price. Basically, these are just hit our shelves. Uh, walked
Wow.
in there this afternoon, and they
Yeah,
got
they
the
were.
whole set. They got heaps of them here.
Mm.
So it took a while. It took about a month or so to get here, and
Oh, longer than
the
that.
first,
I've had mine a good 6 or 7 months, if not more. So it took a while.
yeah. Well, I haven't seen this till today, actually.
There you go.
So, and that, but yeah, Mitch, the 40th anniversary, as you know, has started and whatnot, and I just want to show you this. I think I showed you in the first episode the 40th anniversary Kiss popsicles, or we call them ice blocks here down in Australia. The Thunderbolts. These officially came out in 1980 when Kiss first toured Australia.
I
They
want
thought
some.
it was
I want some. That's what I
I can
want.
get you some. I can get you some. You want some?
Yeah, I want to actually taste one of those things. But I like the word ice block. That sounds much better than popsicle.
Yeah. And on the side here is all the dates of the Australian tour that they played at.
In 80
And
or recently?
No,
It's recent tour.
that's a recent tour. And we had a competition here in Australia in every state, what Canada call province. Every state here in Australia, 2 meet and greet tickets per state. You buy one of these ice blocks at your local service station called Starmart, and what that requires you is to take a photo with that ice block, whether it be at the service station or at home, wherever, in your best kiss pose. And everybody, including myself, who had won this prize was a Kiss fan. So the prize did go to a Kiss fan, didn't go to another person.
To a
And
Madonna
but
fan.
Yeah, and I just want to ask Mitch, there hasn't really been any advertising or promo advertising except for the pop-up stores in Canada.
Right.
But there's no. Have there been like competitions with other things up in Canada?
No, not at all. The only thing that I've noticed different is, like I said, when you go to Walmart now, they have a couple of Kiss T-shirts for $10, which
Yeah.
I've never seen Kiss T-shirts. First of all, at $10, they're usually much more expensive, and second of all, I've never really seen any Kiss merchandise at a Walmart other than during the Sonic Boom era. So it's they're doing something.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about that. Why is that? I mean, why do you think the market is such limited in different countries? Is it because of not the fan in general, but is it to do with the Kiss personnel to limit the stock to other stores, or is it just
Well, I
money?
think they're just responding to the local market forces. I mean, I'm not sure in Montreal that anybody really wants a Kiss popsicle, for example. We have our own sort of culture and our own sort of way of doing things. Yet up here, people love rock shirts. They love AC/DC shirts. They love Jimi Hendrix shirts. So, shirts is probably the way to go. In the States, it's different. And, in Europe, it's probably different.
Yeah. And what's your opinion, David, on that thing?
Well, really, yeah, as Mitch said, it's kind of just catering for the market. I mean, you obviously they survey the market when they're sort of thinking about what they're going to be putting out. It's just smart business practice to sort of cater for the consumer, so
Right.
to speak, in what you put out. Really.
And it also goes with the business partners that you can work together. I mean, if your gas stations or whatever you call them, stat something, wanted to do an exclusive Kiss popsicle, then let's make them. In Canada, I don't see any company rolling up to want to do that.
Yeah, and David, early of the tour, around December-ish, when the tour was officially announced, we had the Kiss beer here that had a competition as well for 5 meet and greets, and another beer chain company also had another competition where you can win 3 signed guitars by Kiss. One of them being an Axe from Gene, the other one being the Punisher from Gene, and the other one being a Paul Stanley guitar.
That's
That's all signed by Kiss. And
Nice.
we talked about the icicles, the popsicles, and all that, and the ice blocks. And I'm hearing a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but Kiss are about to release a cereal here in Australia under the Vitabrick chain. Do you think it'll work here, David?
Sorry, I don't know, but I'd get it out of curiosity to see what it tastes like, just the same as I did with the beer. I mean, the beer was kind of nice. Get the cereal for out of curiosity as well. That's just to see what it tastes like. A lot of the fans here would be doing as well, and to have it for as a souvenir as well, as a collector's item.
True.
As with the Kiss popsicles, ice blocks. I remember talking to one storeholder saying that they were actually only bought out just for the tour anyway. Which is why we haven't sort of seen them much on the shelves since the tour rolled out of Australia and all that. So,
and also they also sold them at the concert venues too. Here in Adelaide they didn't, because the other ice cream chain or ice block was Paul's. Peters didn't have the contract for the
Grand Prix.
Flip,
for the
Clipsal.
Yeah.
But Mitch, just recently, we'll talk about earlier this week about other record stores. There's not much merchandise inside the record stores. Today, for example, I just walked into a store for the very first time since December, and I found these, and I found a whole range. A whole range of Kiss stuff. That's not the case up in Canada.
No, well, you know, there's not a lot of record stores left up here, but we do have HMV like you do down in Australia, or at least you used to have in Australia. I don't know if you still do. And, you know, you can still buy Kiss merch off the shelf. They have those little head bobblers there that you're holding, and you know, mugs, you know, beer mugs and other trinkets. It's not a lot though, you know. But the record stores are responding to the lack of DVD sales by selling these little trinkets to try to bring up the bottom line. But yeah, you know, that's why it's too bad that in Montreal we're not going to get the Kiss pop-up store. I'm going to go see 3 shows this year, and none of the 3 shows are going to have the pop-up stores anywhere around. It'd be great to walk into a store and see nothing but Kiss stuff for a day.
Yeah, true. And David, you know about this, the Kiss shop in Melbourne that was open early in the 2000s.
Right.
It didn't last. It didn't last long, did it?
No, it probably only lasted as said before, around about a month. It was open. I know a friend that actually was kind of worked there. I was trying to get a job there myself, but it only actually was open for about 3 to 4 weeks. It's really sort of large store. It sold a lot. I mean, obviously, pretty much a lot of Kiss stuff, but it was also selling other. It ended up selling like other bands' tour merchandise as well. In the end, and I mean, you could see it as you go past. Like there was on the outside of the shop, you couldn't miss it. Like the 4 solo faces were on the actual outside of the shop. But yeah. Also, I mean, I work for a retail chain myself, and we used to sell some Kiss merchandise as well. We actually went during the Psycho Circus era, we were selling the Psycho Circus Tour Edition dolls like this one here that I got. Actually, my ex got that for me.
Nice.
But yeah, we don't actually sell much Kiss stuff anymore. Just as I said, it's just catering to the market, and there's not much of a market here at the moment since the band isn't sort of touring here at the moment. So we haven't had much Kiss stuff for a while. Yeah.
Well, you know, Dave, down here in Australia, just recently, if you go into Coles supermarket, One Direction
Please.
giving away 10,000 tickets.
They should have One Direction into obscurity.
Yeah, and you go into a novelty store, there's heaps of One Direction stuff, and little kids are getting involved. And it kind of made me laugh when I go back into time, back into 1980. Kiss was everywhere. On the front page news, on the magazine, on the TV. Dynasty and Unmasked was in every household at that stage.
Yeah.
1 in 2 people own that record here in Australia. But then, fast forward, people still know who Kiss is, but they're not wearing a Kiss t-shirt.
Nah. Not unless you're a hardcore fan like us.
Yeah. I mean, Walmart, for example, we got a store here called Big W, which is similar to Walmart, Mitch, and we got the hoodies in there. We got a couple of Kiss hoodies in there.
Really? Like the one he's wearing right now?
No. I actually got this off Kiss online.
How much did that charge for shipping to get that down to Australia? That must be a fortune. It must double the price, right?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but I just got a...
How much did we pay for the...
Oh, sorry, Dave. Go.
Yeah, when we got you got some of the tour merchandise, Jamie. Can you remember how much we paid for shipping?
Okay.
You did one order together?
No, we did separate. No. He got, like, I ended up buying the tour poster, the keychain, which I'm still waiting on, and which was actually that I was supposed to get the keychain with the poster. On the invoice that came inside with the poster, it said that the keychain was shipped with it, but wasn't even in there, and I was still waiting to hear back from Live Nation. And then I ended up getting the stubby holder, or beer koozies, it's called on the Kiss store. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's got like Kiss Rocks Australia with on the front of the map of Australia, but still got that, but still waiting for one piece of merchandise out. I think it's something like $20 odd, wasn't it, Jamie? For
yeah, well, I was just about to say, I before the Monster tour actually started, I pre-ordered a Monster hoodie from Kiss Online. I waited with all the hang-ups with Live Nation. It's about 5 to 6 months wait just to get it down here to Australia.
A lot of waiting.
Yeah.
It was. I paid about $56, $60 just for that hoodie. All up, I paid $86. That's including the postage.
So about $30 of postage. Wow.
Yeah, just for our hoodie. That came about.
Yeah.
That came about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just recently, if I can, just unzip my thing. And as I know, Shay's birthday was last Thursday. Her parents came around. Got the 1980 Australian Kiss retro shirt.
Was that from the Kiss online store, or?
Yeah, you could also buy it here at the venue, but due to the tax, the price was higher. It was a lot cheaper on buying the T-shirt online, but
really,
add the tax on. But if you add the tax on it, it's a lot more than what I paid for if I would have got it at the venue.
At the venue,
but yeah,
at the venues, each of the T-shirts are about $50 each. I know personally, I bought about 5 shirts, and I bought a Motley singlet for Sandra, and I ended up paying about $300 for the lot. So yeah, it was actually cheaper to buy some of the stuff online, which wasn't bad, except for we were still paying $20 in postage to get it out here, and yeah, so.
And the major problem was the waiting game. People were buying the Kiss Army merchandise to, just to get the Kiss Army membership, to get the pre-sales for the Australian tour. They had to wait up to 8 months before Live Nation delivered the membership pack at the front door. 8 months. And that's when we had those jackets, the Kiss Army jackets, as a premium international or whatever it was membership, and it took 8 months for one delivery. And people here in Australia were up in arms about the membership that they had, because, as I said, They had to get the membership to be getting the pre-sale tickets on Kiss Online.
Mm-hmm.
That was via Showbiz here in Australia. It's another story altogether. But yeah, it was just Live Nation. It was the waiting game. That was the only problem. The prices, I couldn't care about the price, but the waiting game, it was just
yeah.
week
I had the same long waiting game for my Kiss fan club membership because I wanted to take advantage of the pre-sales as well. I mean, I could probably get a guest list if I wanted to, but this tour, I just really wanted to have tickets in my pocket and know I'm going. So
yeah.
So I just want to keep continuing on it. What do you think has worked as a merchandise and what hasn't worked as a Kiss merchandise?
Ooh.
Well, the simple answer is, I mean, if you look at merchandising all the way through, the albums are merchandise, and they've worked, and of course, T-shirts are merchandise, and they've worked. It's a lot of the knickknacks that come and go that don't work. I mean, I don't think necessarily that the Kiss coffin worked as a product for sale, but it certainly worked in terms of getting the band attention. So you go to the website to read about this crazy Kiss coffin, and you end up buying a $20 shirt. So, failure and success can also be measured differently. If you're talking about just sales, the coffin's a failure. If you talk about bringing attention to the band, major success, right? So,
certainly did, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, for me, I think I'm with you, Mitch. The coffin and the urn. If you don't want to get buried, you can get cremated, and the urn came out as well with the couple of years back after the and I had a friend of mine up in Brisbane, that said, Jamie, if there was one merchandise that Kiss haven't brought out, what would you create? I said, that's a tough one. I said to him, what would you create? He said, a Kiss urn. That has not been created yet. Well, lo and behold, 2 days after we had that discussion, it was up on the website.
Oh.
A Kiss urn.
Nice Kiss urn.
I was saying,
unbelievable.
Why would you want a Kiss urn for? I can understand that people want to have the ashes in there. I mean, Dimebag Darrell was buried in a Kiss coffin.
He was.
Actually, I think Dave Mustaine's has got one now, from what I've heard.
I don't.
I read that somewhere.
But the other thing about the Kiss coffin was, if you can use it as a refrigerator, like Gene said. If you don't want to use it as a coffin, you stand up on its side, fill it up with beer or whatever, and use it as a refrigerator. I mean, who wants to have a coffin as a refrigerator?
Well, not me, but they do sell the small sort of bar refrigerators, Kiss bar refrigerators. Yeah. With the Destroyer logo on the side. They're $350. I've always wanted to get one. I just haven't had a chance. Nor do I really have a use for it. I mean, I have a refrigerator to put stuff in already. I don't really need an extra one. But
exactly. Yeah.
Well, some of my friends here in Australia are saying, the Hello Kitty. I mean, Mitch, you've got a couple of Hello Kitty Kiss figurines.
I do.
Around there. So they were saying, my friends were saying down here in Australia, that probably won't work in a adult type of way, but family orientated, you pass it to the kids.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
The thing is, I said this before and whatnot during the week when we had the malfunction, was that I think Kiss just wants to pass the torch on to the younger generation. The younger kids coming to the concerts now. Initially, they weren't a family orientated band, but soon as
they have been. They have been since Dynasty. I mean, going back in the history, if you look at the interviews that Paul was giving in 83 and 84, he was saying, well, the band had its issues because going to a Kiss show, instead of becoming this dirty rock stuff, became going to like the Family Circus, which was 79, 80. And then, now we're back and we're more, we're tougher and we're back in leather. But Kiss has been a family band since basically the movie, October of '78. So, I always find it amusing that people say, "Well, it's now that people are bringing their kids to the show." Well, no, I mean people have been bringing their kids to the shows for 35 years.
30, exactly.
Because I would take my daughter, who's 6 this year. I would take her to a Kiss concert. I would. I mean, I remember when she was born, about 8 months after she was born, she was sticking her tongue out like Gene. Every time I wore my Gene Simmons t-shirt or saw Gene on the TV, she'd stick her tongue out like Gene. And I'm saying, am I a bad influence on my child? But no, she'll sit there, well behaved, eyes glued to the TV, and watch Gene Simmons flip blood, breathe fire, do what he did. And, you know, she always comes up to me, Dad, stick your tongue out, or whatnot. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. Dad, stick your tongue out. So, all right, I'll stick my tongue out. And, you know, she loves that. I mean, I just love the way that I can interact with my own daughter in something that she can probably love and pass that on to somebody else.
Right.
I mean, we know that.
And that's the joy in the whole thing.
Yeah,
it is, and it warms my heart. It really does. And
being able to share that with your kids and share things that you sort of also get into, and it helps continue the legacy of the band on for as long as it can go.
Yeah, and that's why, we've talked about on Three Sides of the Coin how the band might move into a Kiss 2.0 stage where they'll replace Gene and Paul. Yeah. And I think that a new fan base like your kids and my kids, they won't care because they won't have an attachment to Gene and Paul, and so they'll be able to love the new guys and see the makeup and see it more like they do, the guy who plays Spider-Man in the movies. They change him and it's still Spider-Man, so why not change Gene and Paul and still make a Kiss? And it really is a great thing. I was doing this tribute album and I brought my daughter to one of the recordings, and she's taken it upon herself now in the car to sing the Oath. She sings it word for word, spank on. I mean, what a song for her to choose to sing, but hey, why not? Nothing says fun like a 9-year-old singing the Oath to you in the backseat of a car. It's entertaining.
But the good thing about what you just said about your 9-year-old daughter, my daughter did that at the age of 3.
Right.
Trying to sing Rock and Roll All Night. It's like Gene stuffing up the words, but only remembered the words in the chorus. It's like, rock and roll all night and party every day. And I said, no, you got to sing it this way. And, and then she loved that. And instead of doing the I Love You double horns, she'll probably go like that.
No. My kids have got this all worked out.
Yeah, maybe she's getting arthritis at a young age, but we're working on it. But you never know. By the time she turns 16, she might be in a female tribute band like Prissa down in America.
Yeah.
And but I mean, she's an entertainer. My daughter, she does everything. But I love her to death, and she's my pride and joy. But also, was saying earlier this week, Mitch, we have these pets, Kiss jumpers for cat and dog. And
I think I did see that. Yes,
that's the jumper. I've got Sirius here, who was my housemate here. That's the Kiss jumper. It's a hoodie for a pet. You can buy the jackets as well, and also a bed.
Are they,
so if you want one,
are they for cats as well, Jamie?
Yes, they are. And I was just about to say, Mitch, if you want one, I can get you one.
Oh, that would be great.
I'll post.
we've got a small little dog here, but I'll have to check locally too, because I don't really go into pet stores.
This is not actually in a pet store. This was actually in we call it a reject shop. It's a novelty store, a cheap novelty store.
Yeah.
And that they've just been released 2 weeks ago here in Australia.
I'll have to check.
It is actually lo and behold, it's an official Kiss merchandise at a novelty. It's from Live Nation. I do have the tag here, and I paid $12 for it.
That's not bad. 12 Australian dollars. That's not bad. That's like 10 Canadian dollars. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So if you want one, Mitch, I'm happy to get you one and post it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
And you can also get a jacket. Now, you got the hoodie, you get a jacket. You also get a badge as well, like a little thing, and it comes in a bag, like a gift bag and that.
Yeah.
But we're getting all these stuff here, and I mean, it never ends. But as to say that the M&M chocolates that were out around the Sonic Boom Tour, we never got them, and I believe you never got them too up in Canada, Mitch.
I don't know about Canada, but across the border in Messina, New York, I saw them, and they were crazy. I didn't buy them. You know, they stocked them right next to the regular M&Ms, and you could get a whole sort of like half-kilo bag for 99 cents of the regular M&Ms, and you could get, you know, almost no Kiss M&Ms for $10. And I was like, I'm not paying, you know, 8 times more for half. You know,
and paying
by the
for
way,
name,
just for the name. And I figured I'm not going to keep candy in the house for the rest of my life. You know, who knows? It could bring in ants. It could bring in bugs. They could melt. My kids could open them up 6 months down the road and eat them. It's not a kind of collectible I wanted in the house, and I certainly wasn't going to pay, you know, triple the price for less candy.
Yeah.
But, you know, before you were asking what kind of merchandise would you create that hasn't been created, and, you know, there's one, and I think maybe it's existed in Australia, but up here, we've never had Kiss bed sheets and pillowcases. I've always thought that would be a no-brainer. And
yeah, I think someone posted up on Facebook on my page the monster pillowcase.
Right.
Now,
I don't even think those are official though. I think those are sort of
they're not official. They're not official. They're made in Hong Kong.
Yeah, you see, and I actually gave a pillowcase like that to Gene about 5 years ago. Well, not to Gene. I gave it to Eric Singer, who said it was for Gene, because I had bought a pillowcase off of eBay. I had showed it to Eric, and he said, "Oh, Gene wants you to get him one." So I did. But yeah, I think they should make an official line. I mean, why not?
Though,
you know,
I believe there were the solo faces with the pillowcase in a double and a queen size that was official down here in Australia. It was around about.
But a bed sheet or just a bed, like a blanket?
Just a
doona cover,
a quilt cover, yeah.
Right,
and
yeah.
bed
See, that I
yeah.
have. That I have.
Yeah.
I have one. I have one right now with the solo faces on the bed.
But sheets, no. I'm with you on that one. I don't think I ever seen a sheet here in Australia. If there has, it'll be in a bootleg.
Yeah.
But
though of course maybe sleeping with my junk next to Gene's face is probably a bad idea anyway, right? So maybe that would be a little weird.
Yeah. Well, David, what would you decide?
My favorite though is my Kiss Destroyer shower curtain. That is an awesome piece
I haven't
of
seen.
merch.
Well, they had electric toothbrush. They got toilet paper, toilet seat cover,
Car seat covers,
steering wheel, mobile phone covers. Or
Right,
what
you
they
see,
call
and that just goes to show with the merchandising. You can rattle off all these things. You know, the Kiss bowling ball. They all came and went. You can't get them anymore, which means that there really wasn't that much of an interest. Because if there was, they'd keep selling it. And yet, what keeps coming back is T-shirts and T-shirts and T-shirts.
And T-shirts.
That's really
you
know the most successful merchandise. And I'm pretty sure that probably applies to every band. They sell their albums and they sell T-shirts. Everything else is hit and miss, but mostly miss.
Well, what about in the 70s when they had the Kiss belt buckles? I mean, they've probably gone out of fashion now too.
Yeah, they have. And the funny thing is I have all those belt buckles, and I've never worn a belt buckle, so I just sort of tossed them on a shelf somewhere. And then I saw on eBay that people were selling them for $700, and I was like, maybe I should take care of these things a little bit better.
Well, even not just the Kiss belt buckles, but the Kiss hats. I mean, you can still buy them on Kiss online, but very rarely you'll see a person wear a hat, or especially a Kiss hat. They'll probably wear a billabong or a rip curl hat or whatever. But
or a sports team of some kind.
Yeah. I still wear mine every now and again, but not a lot.
But Gene loves his his hats.
Yeah, he certainly
now,
does.
I'm just wondering, this is my thing that I like them to create. I don't know if it's actually been made, but Kiss mittens to warm your hands in the winter.
I don't think so. So I do have a Kiss. Let me see if I can just reach. I don't know if I put it here or somewhere else, but a Kiss.
Yeah, you're right.
hat. Oh, here it is. Ugh. This good old thing. You know.
Yes.
Oh.
They're down here in Down Under. Yes.
Oh, ski
Now, isn't
mask.
this the way to do an interview now?
Hey, you could go to a bank and rob that. Then
Yeah.
they'll blame it on Gene Simmons.
Who is Gene? Oh, it's way too hot in here today to wear that.
No.
You know, we're
But yeah,
at
actually
over
have-
30 C today, and I've had to close the door so you don't hear the noise of the kids, so the air conditioning doesn't get in. So it's getting considerably hot right now. Not way too hot for that.
Yeah, it's,
But
it's
that
only it's only
that
about
mask that you just
7.8
put on-
here.
7?
7.8. Oh, it's just gone down to about 6.6 Celsius.
Really?
Very
It gets
selfish.
that cold in Australia? I thought you people
Yeah,
were
it is.
tropical.
Oh, yeah, we're in
Ah,
the
that's
middle of
up in the-
winter at the moment, so.
But you don't get
Up in-
snow and stuff, do you?
Yeah,
It's,
David does.
yeah, down more in the mountains and all that, like the
Right, in
Dandenongs
the
or
mountains,
even
you'd have-
in Mount Buller and all that, but not generally where we are, but more in the sort of mountains we get it.
We're trying to get the winter games down here, but it'll never happen. It doesn't snow that much
No.
down here.
No,
But where would they
we'll
put
never.
winter games in Australia? I mean, that doesn't
No,
make
it's
sense.
too tropical anyway.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
figured.
Yeah.
It must be nice to always be, I mean, other than 7 degrees, it must be nice to be warm pretty much all year long.
Yeah, it
True.
is.
If you go up to Queensland, which is above the equator, the tropical Capricorn, I should say, they get in winter 24. You still walk around in shorts, but at night time, you get down to the 0 degree mark. It's freezing here.
Yeah.
It's freezing. I mean, I'm wearing.
I didn't realize. I always just considered Australia to be a place of palm trees and kangaroos. So
We do have
You know.
kangaroos, but not on the airport. But yeah, you'll have to go out bush to see that. I mean, but
I've mentioned it before. I would love to go to Australia. That would be a country that I have
And
to
I'm
visit
going
at
to
some point.
and I'm going to show you again just for an encore. This came on the official KISS tour of Australia of 2013. The colour is in my favourite Aussie rule team, Collingwood, which are the Magpies. That's why it's black and white.
Yeah, we won't go that after yesterday, Jamie.
Yeah, number 13 on the back was KISS on the back. A lot of people are saying, did you ever
Is that just
stop
for the
wearing-
year, or is that a famous player?
That was just for
Just
the
for the
year.
year, but there is a player in Collingwood that does wear 13 who is injured at the moment, and
The day my
Yeah,
son was
that-
born.
yeah, but yeah, we got all these merchandise, and I just thought, why not talk about it and how it varies from country to country. The same as the music as well. Bands in Australia are not making it big over in America and whatnot. I mean,
Well, you've
only
had a few.
We've had a few.
yeah, but that at this present time, what I'm trying to get at is that when we have the X Factor or Australian Idol, they only do small arena shows, not an entertainment center, just like a couple of thousand people. But they'll never go overseas. They'll always travel around, and they're not making a market brand overseas.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when the Skyhooks first went to America, they hated the Skyhooks.
I've
And they
never
were-
even heard of them.
Yeah.
There was a 70s band that took their image from KISS with the costumes, but not makeup. A bit like the New York Dolls, but an Aussie version. But America hated them. America, and they never toured there again. We had the Little River Band, who was an Aussie band, made it huge in America. AC/DC, The Offspring, who no more, they have split up now.
The Offspring? They're not.
Yeah,
They're not
they
Australian.
split up. They got not The Offspring. Silverchair, sorry,
Yeah,
Silverchair.
yeah.
Same criteria, different band, but we have NXS, made it huge in Britain and America, and as soon as Michael Hutchins died, Sing Skydive, they just split up last year after touring with Matchbox 20 here in Australia. They no more. The Angels, who were influenced by AC/DC,
Yeah.
they're they're doing a one-off show in a couple of months in Melbourne at the Epsy, David, where you.
Which version of the Angels is that? Is it the
Dave Gleason?
Dave Gleason.
No,
Okay.
no, Doc Nelson. Sorry, Doc Nelson. He's coming back.
Doc Nelson's 8. It depends. That'll depend on his battle with cancer at the moment. As he's still in treatment, having treatment for that. So, but
yeah, well, the reason why I'm saying about the music, I mean, the merchandising as well. I mean, what might work well here in Australia will not necessarily work somewhere else, and just vice versa.
As we said before, it all depends.
May I ask you just one question? Are you able to pause for 1 second? I hear something going on downstairs that I just want to go check on. Is that, or does that?
So I'll pause it.
Yeah.
I'll pause it.
Okay, give me 1 sec. Sorry about that. Hold on.
That's all right.
Yep. So yeah, what I was talking about those bands, it's the same with the merchandising. It might necessarily work here in Australia, but it won't work over in America or Europe, and vice versa. And
well, only 2 countries have been able to export bands when you really think of it. Mostly bands come from America or from the UK, from England.
Yeah.
You know, you got a couple of bands like Rammstein or the Scorpions who get out of Sweden, and you get a few bands out of Canada like Bryan Adams or maybe Rush, but pretty much all the music we love comes from the States or from England, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think of the commercializing as well with not the music is that's part of it. That probably be about 90 to 95%. But the merchandising behind these bands, especially Kiss, it does influence a chain of other things to come. Right. I mean, I was talking about what can we invent or create that never been created. I said the mittens, especially up in Canada when it gets in the winter.
Right.
You have the beanies, you have the Kiss beanies and whatnot, and the Kiss hoodies like this, but to protect the hands from the ice and whatnot, I don't think there have been one. Or even the ice scraper that you scrape the ice off the front window. I don't think they ever created one. But it would be good, but who would use it?
I don't think there's been
I would use one.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a kiss shovel, so you can shovel the driveway out. You know,
Kiss snowblower.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even a Kiss ice skates, or you know,
Kiss
I know you can get a Kiss. Yeah, I know you can get a Kiss Army ice hockey jacket or jumper or jersey, I should say. You can get one, and I think it is official still and whatnot. But I just love how all these things came out, and you know, we had just recently, David, the Hello Kitty Kiss show bag. I don't know if it's going to be at the shows.
Well,
but
hopefully,
people...
it was. I've heard they did have them up at the Brisbane show there.
They had Kiss soap.
Kiss soap? No, it was kind of like the Hello show bags.
Like show bags.
Like show bags. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
We should have Kiss Vegemite.
No, there's an idea, Kiss soap. But yeah, the Hello Kitty show bags are up at the Brisbane show, but whether they have them when the Melbourne show starts up in around about September, I'll have to wait and see. I'll have to try to check that out and see whether they're going to be selling them or not. But because I'd like to get one.
We're talking about the fair shows like the like a fair carnival type of thing.
Yeah.
Every year, every state has a show for carnival to bring the sheep and dogs and cows and whatnot. And
right, like the state fairs that we have here.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like a state fair. And the Hello Kiss show bag has been released, and people were ordering it online, and I'm saying, well, if the show's passing through your state,
you're gonna get
why
it.
don't you go and get
go to the show and get it, yeah.
Well, because look, I think most people these days have gotten used to you click a button and it shows up and you don't have to leave your house. That's how I like to shop.
Well, Dave and I were on eBay just earlier in the night, looking at some vinyls, the old Kiss vinyls that were on there, and some of the prices are just phenomenal. I mean, you used to buy them for like $2 or $5 when they first came, but someone's asking like in the hundreds.
I know.
And they got these autographs, these 4 autographs, and they don't even look legit. I mean, the Paul Stanley and the H. Fraley, this was 2001, and Peter Criss signed it, and Peter Criss was not in the band in 2001, not before he came to Australia anyway.
Right.
And this is an official, this person is claiming to be an official advertise or merchandise. I'm saying, no, it's not. You just have a look at it. Put it under a microscope, turn it sideways, turn it back, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you got to watch for some of those autographs. That's why I'll probably never buy autographed stuff off eBay, because you don't know whether it's legit. You certainly wouldn't want to be ripped off online by buying some of that stuff. So I generally try to steer away from all the autographed merchandise. Unless I've, the only things I'll have autographed, I would have got autographed myself from their various band members, and when I've gone to see them play and gone to the meet and greets and everything. So yeah, beware on eBay.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, you're mentioning meet and greets. I mean, that is certainly a form of merchandising, and it's quite successful for the band. Exceptionally expensive for the average fan, but
the meet and greet for Australia, Lemonade. So you were just talking about that. That's a form of merchandise. You're correct there, Mitch. But I mean, the prices, even that alone is phenomenal. I mean, if you've got a family of 4,
you can't afford
2 adults, 2
Nah.
Yeah. It'd be like you can buy a car for that, or even a deposit down for a house. And people said, "Oh, give me $1,500, I'll spend it." And I said, "No, I mean, that's how much it was here in Australia, $1,500."
I know,
but
the Kiss one was $1,500. I think the Motley Crue one on the same tour was about $9. When Ace toured here in 2010,
was it worth it though?
I never went to any of those meet and greets. I can't afford $1,500, but I had a friend that went to the Ace Frehley one in 2010, and he loved it. He thought it was well worth it. The $300 he paid for it. But I've been to other bands meet and greets. I went to see meet and greet for Black Label Society about a year ago. It was well worth it. It was only $100, but for the whole experience of meeting like Zach and all that, and who was one of the nicest guys in rock that I've ever met.
Absolutely.
It was well worth it. But yeah,
I think I've just been lucky. I've been in the right place at the right time. The meet and greet for the Kiss concert this year, it was through a competition. I paid $2.50 for an ice block, and I was lucky enough to win 2 meet and greets. My partner and I went to a meet and greet. But I also, like I said before, I also had these other tickets that I've already purchased way before these competitions came out. Way before, and I felt I've wasted that $80. I mean, I'll say it again. We had to buy a race day ticket. It was similar to the NASCAR in Daytona or whatnot. It's a 4-day event, from Thursday to Sunday. And Kiss and Motley Crue was the headliner, closing show basically of the event. And lo and behold, around January, they had a competition with the ice blocks, and I'm saying to Shay, well, I don't have $1,500. My dream was to make Kiss in costume. I have met Kiss plenty of times without costume, whether it be at the hotel or just passing through, and just being at the right place at the right time. But I thought, no, I'll give it a shot. It's for fun. Put the makeup on, do me crazy Gene Simmons pose, and and then my partner put Paul Stanley's makeup on so she can win it. And lo and behold, I came back from the gas station, or the service station we call here, and I got an email on my phone and saying I won 2 meet and greet tickets for that competition. I'm saying, no, this can't be true. I thought it was a hoax. Had to get my partner to clarify it for me and say, Jamie, you've been a winner, and 34 years. I mean, I've been a fan for 34 years. I'm lucky enough to meet the idols in regalia, costume, whatnot, and have Shay, my partner, standing beside me. It was just a memorable moment that it can cherish for years to come. And with the Ace Frehley, David, I didn't have a meet and greet. I bumped into him. He gave me a signed autograph on a photo, 8x10 photo that he took on a concert up in England. And he said, I apologise for my attitude back in '97 on the reunion tour here. Apparently, the story was that he was a complete so-and-so, from his word. He admit that. And he shook my hand. He said, I'm sorry for being a complete jerk to you in '97.
Had you met him in '97?
Yeah, I met him at the hotel where they were staying at. I arranged a little meeting with Tommy Thayer, who was the touring manager at the time, to see if I can talk to Ace, and he comes down the elevator, drunk as a skunk, walking like a human crab, walking sideways out of the elevator, and he just said, "Hi Ace, how's it going?" "Yeah, how you going?" And picked the bird up, and and it was. I mean, we weren't harassing. We're just there talking to Tommy, and next minute, out of nowhere, comes Ace and Paul and Jane were fine on that night. They were quite cool and calm. They chat with the fans. The thing is, when you're going for an interview or when you're actually meeting kids, you don't want to pound them. Can you sign this? Can you sign that? And they get it since they started. I just gave them the space they need. I just mind my own business. And Tommy actually approached me. I didn't approach Tommy. Tommy approached me. And we started to talk about Black and Blue. And he was a guitar player. And I'm a drummer. And blah, blah, blah. And that's how it started to run. And then he introduced me to Doc McGee. And then sitting across the table with Paul and Jane. And that's how it all started. I just happened to be lucky that night. And great night.
Great story.
Yeah, it's a great stories of 40 years that they shared. Or back in '97 wasn't 40 years, but you can just
30.
imagine.
35.
Yeah.
I mean, what
30.
35.
Would have been 30 something, 36, no, 35,
No.
34.
Less than that. It would have been
about
let's do quick
33.
math. Yeah, something like that.
20 something. Sorry. Yeah.
27 years. Anyway, math is not my forte, and I've got a massive headache going on today. But you never hear bad stories about Gene and Paul.
No.
Every time somebody has met them, all you hear is about how nice, how courteous, how giving they were. And I think that's part of the reason of their success is that they've been nice to the fans, and that goes a long way.
Sure.
When you meet somebody and you go, oh, he's so nice and he's so kind, you're more apt to stay a fan and more apt to run out and say, well, maybe I should go buy that album that I haven't bought yet. And that's why they've managed to keep it going for 40 years.
And I do want to share one funny story about my meet and greet at the Calypso. My partner has a habit, if you touch her hair, she literally automatically jolt her arm or elbow backwards. Well, standing right behind her was Paul Stanley. I have got the photo, and I've got two of them. Paul playing with my partner's hair. She doesn't like anyone touching her hair. But here you got Paul Stanley in 8-inch platform. Her arm was that tight, she didn't want to just knock him one in the groin area. But I've got the photo. She's looking up in the corner and looking at Paul's hand, twisting her around and whatnot. And Paul loved my partner. I mean, feeding off her, whatnot. And I had Jane behind me going like this. I could hear it under his breath, and it was just funny. It was just like, whatever you do, Shay, if he does anything to you, just try and block it. Paul is that type of guy who would do anything to get you off. Not that way, of course, but you know what I mean. But playing with her hair, and next minute, and it was just funny. It really was. And then we walked out of the meet and greet and said, "How did you feel now?" oh my god, I just got touched by Paul Stanley. So I told you. I told you. But no, the meeting, the merchandise, it's a whole wide range. It's worldwide, and I just want to talk one more merchandise before we wrap up. It's a priceless merchandise, and it is a not official Kiss merchandise, but it is a merchandise. Mitch Lafon, you're doing a tribute album,
Yeah.
For Kiss Cancer for 40th anniversary for the hospice up in Canada.
Right.
Can you just with the fans down under who doesn't know about it and what it is actually involved and who's involved?
Well, it's my father-in-law passed away in January of this year, and he was at a palliative care center in Vaudreuil, Quebec. And it turns out that the government doesn't take care of it. It's all done through donations. And so, I was looking at what kind of donation I could make and what kind of awareness, because, to give $100 anonymously or $1,000 anonymously is great, but raising the awareness to let other people know that the place exists is even greater. And so I put together this 40th anniversary Kiss tribute based on that concept of raising funds and raising awareness. And, I've had a chance to be on all the local TV channels, and people like you out in Australia know about it and are talking about it. So we've raised that awareness, and we've got all kinds of great people on there. We've got members of Pantera, Guns N' Roses, we've got Honeymoon Suite, a Canadian band. We've got Firehouse members, Black Sabbath members, just everybody. And so we ended up with 40 songs on the it's called A World With Heroes. And, some people have said, well, the song's actually World Without Heroes. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But the fact that, these artists came together to help make this album shows that the world does in fact have heroes. So it's a world with heroes. And, the songs are great. People who are interested in the band are going to love these versions. Again, and I keep forgetting, we got people from Great White, Tesla, Cinderella, and so many more. The songs are great. They sound great. And in fact, some of the songs even sound better than the Kiss versions, in my opinion. Shout Mercy, for example, comes to mind. The Oath comes to mind. And all the money that's raised is going to go to the hospice, and which is phenomenal.
And I'm also hearing your co-worker or co-host for Three Sides of the Coin, Tommy Summers, has also donated a whole bunch of stuff to help you guys to create more funds for the project.
Yeah, absolutely. He volunteered personal items from his collection, stuff that is related to the band, and other stuff that's not. I mean, Alan Menken, who's big in sort of the Broadway industry and has done Hunchback of Notre Dame and Pocahontas, has some signed merchandise that Tommy had that he sent my way. Rush Moving Pictures tour book that was actually signed by the band. Tommy got it signed personally. He sent that in. All that stuff is currently up on eBay if you want to somehow link to it or let the fans know how to find it. Yeah, so it's really been a very communal kind of experience where people are putting aside their egos and coming together to do something that is great to benefit a hospice. At the same time, it celebrates Kiss's 40th anniversary. You couldn't have asked for more. And I really hope people will go to the Pledge Music site, pledgemusic.com. You just type in Kiss 40th, and in the search box, it'll come up. And if you can put a link to it here, that would be great. And, the album's going to come out. We definitely will, yeah. Yeah, the album was going to come out August 27th. The music's done now and so on and so forth. But August 27th was my father-in-law's birthday, and obviously he won't be here this year. So this will be sort of a way to celebrate the memory. And
also, we will encourage you, also, Mitch, we have spoken to about before, please put it up on iTunes if you can as well.
Yeah.
To raise, be like another plan B or whatever it is, but just to raise more awareness, and I will encourage people to do that and get fully behind that as well.
Yeah,
I just want to say
I think it will be on iTunes. I don't see. I think it's an option that I have to explore seriously, because we've made only 1,000 albums, and the manufacturing costs and the mastering costs and all those costs have been quite high, and that means that you have to pay for it. Whereas on iTunes, we can just sort of put the songs up there, and then it gives people in Australia and in New Zealand and Japan and around the globe easier access to them, because mailing a CD to Australia and mailing a CD to Japan, you end up that only $1 or $2 goes to the charity once you've paid for the mailer and the postage, and it's like, well, that's not the point now, is it? Right? So
yeah, true.
And I think,
and also.
Go ahead.
Also, is there sorry, Mitch. Also, is there a T-shirt? I believe there's a T-shirt that you can pledge for this thing, or has that been changed now?
No. There's a merchandising company out of San Francisco called Tinman Merchandising, and one of the guys there is the one who's responsible for having put the album cover together. A guy named Mark. And he said, hey, how about if we put this on a T-shirt, and we'll do the same kind of thing, sell a T-shirt, and the money raised will go to the hospice, and we put the logo of the hospice on the back, sort of between the shoulder blades. You'll have that, and if you go to Tin Man Merchandising or Tin Man Merch, or I should check that, or if you can check that. You can pick up the T-shirt as well, and they also have a bundle where you can get the T-shirt and the CD for. I have to. It's early in the morning here, but I think it's 45 or 49 or something like that, which is a good deal.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
We'll work it out. And David, we'll make a promise to Mitch when we get the T-shirt. We'll do the podcast in the T-shirt.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll just
definitely
we'll wear that and we'll parade it around and that. But I just want to say one thing. If anyone does, and I have said this before when we had the malfunction, if you do happen to pledge here in Australia, and by all means pledge, do not put it up on torrent sites. These people have donated and dedicated their free time, not only the artists, but everybody else. Mitch has organised this, but the band members and the artists, they have to get other production crew behind them and get the record studios and mastering, all those things. The last thing that Mitch wants is people to download it off a pirate torrent, and that this is not a Kiss album. This is something that goes back into a good cause, and David and I are here to help push it along, trying to get people here down under to get behind this thing, because
it's a very important point. It's not not about rock stars having extra money to buy a new boat or to go on a vacation in the Turks and Caicos here. This is going to people who are in the final stages of their life and are trying to pass away in a respectful manner, and that's the care the hospice provides. And so if you throw it up on a download site, or if you trade it among friends, at the end of the day, it's the people that need the help that lose. The charity loses here. It's not about getting an extra pair of, Jordan shoes or a flashy new guitar. It's about people dying, to be blunt. And, you can get a lot of stuff on torrent sites, but please, not this one. Do what's morally right, I think is the best way to put it in this case. Because none of the artists are getting paid. I have not taken any salary. I'm not, I haven't even paid for a cup of coffee with any of these funds here. So, let's do the right thing is what I like to say.
Sure. And people, please have a generous heart, and dig deep in your pockets, and just keep pledging away. I mean, it's not going to me. I mean, I'm not a fundraiser in this. It's not going to me. I'm only supporting this and trying to do an advertisement, so to speak, to help people to get behind this and that. And Mitch, it's just great that you're doing this, and it's close to my heart. What's behind it, and it's close to David's heart as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And we will be behind it 110%.
Thanks for doing this, Mitch. It's as Jamie said, it's very close to my heart. I had a similar,
situation.
I had my similar situation where my mother-in-law passed away about 6 weeks ago through cancer, and was in a hospice in the last few days of her life. So yeah, fully behind it, and will fully support you in it, and get people sort of pledging, which is what it's all about, giving back to help those that are in need.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to get over the 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 mark, and right now there's $5,000 that's gone to the hospice, and so let's keep it going. I mean, it's
exactly,
a lot of good work, and I think that's also where if we put it on iTunes, we could get to that 20,000 mark or more. So,
all right, I'll make a deal with you, Mitch. If you get to 10,000, I'll shave my head completely bald. How's that?
That sounds good to me. I'm in for that.
It's for a good cause. It's for cancer. If you can get $10,000 for it, I'll shave my head completely bald.
Yeah, I'll just quickly add in my father-in-law's case, it was cancer, but the residents that the palliative care center, they also deal with other long-term illnesses. If whether it's and I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like Alzheimer's or something else that is end of stage. They also deal with those patients. So it's about more than just cancer. It's about more than just it's about dying with dignity and having a place to do that. And it's important.
Yes. So please go to www.pledgemusic.com, and look, Mitch, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Absolutely.
I want to say, people, listen to us on Three Sides of the Coin. No, that's the other show.
You mean us on the Krazy Knights podcast?
I was joking. I was saying that we're the hosts of Three Sides of the Coin. I was joking.
Yeah. But Three Sides of the Coin is fantastic. You got to check that one out.
It is. Co-hosted by Jamie McNichol and David Fallon, and join us is Mitch Lafon. No. No. Please join Three Sides of the Coin with Mitch Lafon, Michael Brownfall, and Tommy Summers. They have it up there every Tuesday. Wednesday our time, early Wednesday morning our time, will be up on YouTube and their Facebook page and iTunes. And also, please join us every Wednesday night on YouTube for Krazy Knights Australian podcast. Mitch, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Give my love and support to your family.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
whatnot.
You.
And we'd love to get back to you in the near future.
Yeah, and if you go to the Pledge Music site these days and pledge or have already pledged, the first 8 songs are available for download. 8 out of 40 you can have and listen to and enjoy right now.
I believe the Freely's Comet version, is that one of them? The
Breakout?
Yeah.
No, not yet. I didn't put that one up. I put up Mark Tonillo of Accept doing Spit. A band called D Drive with Phil Narrow. Phil having been with Peter Chris's band in the 90s, doing Psycho Circus. Deuce by Firehouse, or Bill Leverty of Firehouse. Detroit Rock City by Bumblefoot. Shout Mercy, featuring the guys from Cinderella and Tesla, and Jeff Paris was the singer on that. Eric Carr's song Eyes of Love was part of that. And look, great times. I mean, go check them out.
Oh, well. And my favourite song so far that I have only just listened to is Rock and Roll Hell. I mean,
absolutely. Ron Keel knocked that out of the park. I mean, I like the song from Creatures of the Night, but this is one of those songs where I think this version is better. I honestly do. Troy Laketta of Tesla on drums, home run. Jeff Labar and Eric Brittingham of Cinderella, home run. And Ron Keel's vocal delivery on this one, I'm sorry, but it's better than the original. And
It is.
You know, and I love Kiss, as you know, but
Yeah.
As soon as I put my headphones on and cranked it right up, I got goosebumps. I literally got goosebumps.
yeah, that's
And
fantastic.
this is better than I'll be bluntly and I'll be straight to the point here. This album that you have created or helped create is better than Kiss My Ass with the other takes of Kiss.
Absolutely, but listen, the bar was very low on Kiss My Ass. That's not really a tough album to beat, quite frankly.
No.
It wasn't. We all love Kiss and stuff, but when you're dealing with Toad the Wet Sprocket, the Lemonheads, and the other nonsense that was on there, it really wasn't tough to beat, quite frankly.
Exactly.
Well, just before you go, Mitch, there was another tribute album just before Kiss My Ass in Australia called Hard to Believe.
Oh, I have that.
And,
yeah.
It has Do You Love Me or whatever by Nirvana.
Nirvana. Not exactly a highlight on that record of that one.
And the record store just down the road from you, David, I do believe they still had the LP vinyl.
Yeah, they do. It's up in the wall. I don't know where he's actually selling that. I think he's just keeping it there as a collectible for himself.
Yeah.
That's funny. That album, though, did have a version of Beth, like a 1 minute version of Beth, sort of in a punk style that was actually quite good, but mostly it was a forgettable album. No, this, without boasting, I think this is going to be the tribute album that all Kiss tribute albums are going to be measured up against. I think this is the crowning jewel. This is good stuff. Bands, and that's what happens when you record coming out of your heart, whether that compared to just doing it for a paycheck. I think it shows in the performance. And all of this was done from the people's heart, and you can hear it. It's all heart and soul. Versions are great. So so check it out.
I will. And fans, please go to www.pledgemusic.com, and it's just awesome.
And look up Kiss 40.
Have a look. It's just awesome, and have the experience that I have. If you get goosebumps, you know what we're talking about. Mitch, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
I know you got other things and other duties to do over there, but
I've got to go record three sides of the coin now, actually.
Well, give us a shout out to us if you can, Krazy Knights Down Under. So yeah, and but we'll support you guys. Also, go to another podcast that Mitch is doing with Michael Bramford called Dropping the Needle. They're not just talk about Kiss, but other bands like Black Sabbath just recently in the last month. And I had Todd Howarth do a song or two on, a little medley on an acoustic guitar. Go and check it out. It's on YouTube and it's on their fan page on Facebook. And once again, Mitch, it's an absolute pleasure.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye now.
See you, Mitch.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See you, mates.
Bye.